Good morning and welcome to the first installment of the Restoration Technical Webinar Series delivered by Fisheries and Oceans Canada and co-hosted with the Pacific Salmon Foundation. Today's session is focused on fully reconnecting incised channels to their floodplains. Before I introduce myself, let me first acknowledge that we are talking to you today from Vancouver, British Columbia, situated on the traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. My name is Dale Desrochers, and I am the Regional Manager of the Restoration Center of Expertise for the Salmon Enhancement Program. Most of you are probably actually likely to relate more to the term Resource Restoration Unit for SEP. At this point, I'd like to turn it to my colleague Colin and my co-host Jason to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Dale. My name is Colin McGregor, and I'm a restoration engineer for Fisheries and Oceans Canada in the BC Interior. I'm pleased to be providing this technical webinar support through the day, and I'll make sure the questions are ready and keep us on time so we have a full agenda.
All right, and hi everyone. My name is Jason Hwang. I'm with the Pacific Salmon Foundation, and I'm really pleased to be invited to help co-host this workshop with you today. One of the questions that I think people from British Columbia might have in terms of the context for this workshop is around the Pacific Salmon Strategy Initiative and how some of the things involved in the PSSI relate to this workshop. So I'm going to turn it over to Dale just to address that for a minute as we get the workshop started.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. There are many actions to be taken under the Pacific Salmon Strategy Initiative. One of them is the creation of the Restoration Center of Expertise. This initiative is really intended to expand DFO's habitat restoration capacity by providing more habitat restoration staff to really develop and support projects, the delivery of those projects, and also to increase our capacity for science engagement and develop planning and guidance tools to help habitat restoration practitioners actually deliver restoration effectively. One of the examples of our new investments and approaches is host workshops, just like this one today. While I'm happy to receive any inquiries related to the Restoration Center of Expertise, either today through the mechanisms that we have in place, Slido, I would ask that we defer those questions to the end of the webinar and to allow us time and energies to focus on the presenters that we have today and their presentations.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. I think what we want to emphasize there is the point of this workshop is to focus on the technical material that we have our speakers here to provide for us. And the purpose really is to provide a knowledge exchange around restoration. It's not to get into things that are prescriptive, telling people exactly what to do or direct them particularly, but it's more an opportunity to come together, hear from these experts who are applying restoration techniques and their experiences firsthand. So today's workshop is intended for all of us to learn more about the philosophy of the Stage 0 approach to restoration, which focuses on working with natural processes to rehabilitate a channel network and restore the water connection to its floodplain. As you'll see in our agenda, we've arranged the day to have a group of speakers, and then we're going to have opportunities for questions after blocks of speakers have done their presentations. We're asking our participants to use Slido to send us your questions. You can see the Slido coordinates at the bottom banner on the screen. And when you submit your question to Slido, we'll do our best to get to them, but we've got more than 300 participants here today, so we're probably not going to get to them all. But when we are recording the session today, and the recordings will be available on the PSF YouTube channel a few days after today's session, and we also have a rapporteur helping us today, and she'll be capturing the key points from the presentations, and we'll be producing a report that summarizes today's session. So even if we don't get to all of the questions and comments that people send in via Slido, we will be able to capture them all, and we will include them in our post-workshop report. So with those logistics out of the way, I'm going to turn it back to Dale to introduce our first group of speakers.
Okay, well, thanks, Jason. To start off the morning, you're going to hear from three experts. Dr. Colin Thorne with the University of Nottingham, Colorado State University, Portland State University, Janine Castro with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and National Marine Fisheries Service, and Paul Powers with the U.S. Forest Service. And unless Jason has anything further he'd like to add, And this is a pause now. This is me pausing, waiting to see if Jason's got anything to add. Apparently he doesn't.
No, I'm good, Dale. Thanks.
Excellent, good. I would like to turn the screen over to Colin to introduce himself and his vast experience in restoration and to get this webinar underway. Colin, over to you.